Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage AMO President Gary McNamara.
Good morning, everyone. Well, this is my last address as your AMO President. This conference is the event for AMO, and each year we work hard to make sure that it's the event for Ontario municipalities. It takes more than a year to plan for it, and in fact, we're already thinking about next year's conference in Ottawa. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're in the moment now in Windsor and Essex County. My home community of Tecumseh is just down the road. I'm proud to call this part of the province home. Anyone who cares about Ontario's communities are welcome here. That's the common denominator that we all share. You just heard from the Premier this morning. I want to thank her for having her door open to me during the past 2 years. She sets the tone. Most of her cabinet is here today. Ontario's opposition leaders and many of the caucus colleagues are also here. Patrick Brown and Andrea Horvath will be here, and you will hear them this afternoon. They're all here because they all want our communities to succeed. They're also here because you are here. They want your support, and we want them to earn it. All is as it should be. AMO has been around for 117 years, and I've been around long enough to know this. At every conference, there is always been something that we work together to solve. There's always been challenges. There have always been things we're happy about. There have always been things that we're mad about. There's always been achievements that we can be all proud of. There has always been the case, and it always will be. We believe AMO is a meeting place where governments, municipal, provincial, and federal, can get together, work together, and find solutions together. A lot of that happens here at this event. There's something like 300 delegation meetings alone. Many of you have come a long way to bring your community's top challenges straight to the top. It all happens here. You can learn a lot from the person beside you. So introduce yourselves. You didn't get this far by being shy. And we appreciate your participation here. It makes AMO stronger. By listening to one another and by supporting one another, we can, and we will, and we do achieve more. Take it from those of us who have been coming to this conference for years. Things happen for us when we are united, and things happen to us when we are divided. We look out for each other. Like good neighbors, we pitch in to build things that none of us could build alone. Several of your peers have stepped forward to serve on the AMO's board. It is a great honor and a great experience. It requires time, energy, and travel. Please join me in thanking all those who have served the past 2 years and all those who aspire to serve in the next 2 years. On Wednesday, the torch will be passed to Lynn Dolan, the Deputy Mayor of Innisfil. 2 more sleeps, Lynn. 2 more. She'll be a great president, and I look forward to supporting her as an active past president. I'm proud of AMO's accomplishments over the past 2 years, and I'm proud of the determination to change our communities for the better. Later this morning, Nick Nanos will present his latest polling speech results. But I'll provide maybe a little teaser. More people have faith in municipal governments, and more people appreciate the value and importance of municipal services. Across Canada, municipal priorities are shared by the masses, and they've been embraced by the new Government of Canada. Obviously, FCM has helped achieve that, and we do work well together. For the first time ever, Canada's infrastructure minister came to the AMO offices because the Government of Canada understands the need to work with Ontario's municipal governments, and we certainly appreciate that. We've proven that we are effective partners on infrastructure and economic stimulus programs. We've pushed to provide input on design and delivery of these initiatives. The newest is a $1.5 billion for transit in Ontario and $570 million for the water and wastewater. As you have just heard, the funding agreement the work is in progress, and we want to make sure they get it right. It's intended to target repair and rehab projects that can be wrapped up in about 2 years. Madam Premier, Mr. Prime Minister, we want to get started. AMO has promoted stronger ties between the federal and municipal orders of government. For example, in Ontario, the federal gas tax funding is predictable and it flows directly to you through AMO. Outside of Ontario, federal gas tax dollars flow to provincial governments, and municipalities submit applications for it. Over the past decade, the federal gas tax fund has injected about $7 billion into Ontario communities. For many years, AMO and the province have called for the federal housing strategy. Well, it's on its way. And here again, AMO wants the federal government to work with Ontario's municipalities as it creates a stronger housing strategy. It took us more than a decade to reverse provincial downloading, but we are now 8 years in a 10-year plan to upload provincial costs from the municipal tax base. Ontario's municipalities used to send about $1.6 billion annually to the provincial treasury. The province worked with us to change that, and it opened the door to municipal infrastructure investment. The Ontario government is committing record investments on its own. There's $130 billion for public infrastructure over the next 10 years. The Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, also known as OCIF, is growing from $100 million to $300 million annually. There's $2.6 billion more for Moving Ontario Forward and the Connecting Links. They've given us more than $1 billion for infrastructure since 2008. That doesn't include provincial gas tax funding for transit, which was worth more than $320 million in 2014 alone. We appreciate all this progress, and we like to give credit where credit is due. But at the same time, we don't move our communities forward by sitting back and resting on our achievements. AMO will always advocate for change when and where change is needed. Emergency service costs have been a key concern throughout my term, and the goal is obvious. All communities in Ontario must have safe, effective, and affordable emergency services. Municipalities do what they can to achieve that, but the Ontario government must do its part as well. We led the charge on the need to modernize policing. Our white paper and its 34 recommendations struck a nerve. It has been downloaded more than 7,000 times, and we proved that change was warranted, it was possible, and it was overdue. We are now working with the province on the first review of Ontario's Police Services Act in 25 years. We are also working to restore faith in Ontario's interest arbitration process. Police and firefighters should get wages and benefit increases that other people can relate to. They're the most highly paid employees we have, and they should be, with reason. But we can't pay them increases at the expense of other services that keep our communities safe and healthy. We do value their service. We also value safe roads, bridges, good winter maintenance, safe drinking water, paramedics, effective public health services, economic development, housing, social services. We have to deliver it all, and the Ontario government needs to ensure that we can. So we continue to work on interest arbitration. Getting consensus with union associations on changes to process matters, that's the easy part. The real challenge is capacity to pay. Arbitrators must fairly evaluate a municipality's capacity to pay increases. Arbitrators are unelected unaccountable, so they should have to follow clear criteria. Discussions continue. It has been tough. Look at the increases that police and fire have been receiving compared to increases to other municipal employees negotiated. The difference, ladies and gentlemen, is staggering. It is costing us dearly. Provincial inaction on interest arbitration cost us $485 million between 2010 and 2014. Meanwhile, the province is mulling over the Ontario Professional Firefighters Association proposed to create fire medics. It would allow certified firefighters to provide emergency medical response. Well, it sounds simple, but it has a number of challenges. This fire medics proposal suggests a municipality would decide if it wants to go down that road. But we know, under the current interest arbitration system, an arbitrator could impose this on us just like we saw with the 24/7 and salary awards. Interest arbitration issues used to hide deep in the plumbing, but not anymore. They are now a common topic for newspaper articles, columns, and editorials. People get it, and we get it. As Buddha said, there are three things you cannot hide for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Sooner or later, people connect the dots, and change often follows. We see the same thing happening on municipal insurance costs and the rise in premiums. Canadians want the toboggan, play road hockey, skateboard, hike trails, drive ATVs, and snowmobiles. Municipalities get that. We also know that lawyers are using municipal property taxes to pay for other people's negligence. They know it too. Taxpayers are waking up to this. The legal convention of joint and several liability is working its way out of the plumbing and into the editorial pages. A couple of years ago, the province had a proposal to help protect property taxpayers and create reasonable limits on municipal liability. We were close to getting a better approach, but insurance lawyers rallied and the province got cold feet. The lawyers won that round, but we will win eventually, because you can only hide the sun, the moon, and the truth for so long. At the core of our interests is to be treated as a mature order of government. It's nice to be told that we are trusted and that we are respected. But actions and legislations are a better measure. There are a lot of pots to watch in this program, including pot. The federal government wants to legalize it. Rest assured that AMO is on top of that. The stakes are high. Increased marijuana use has the potential to create new planning, policing, and social service impacts. It will be taxed, and some of that revenue should go to the municipalities. Over the next 3 days, you can get up to speed on all these priorities and many more. And we will be tweeting extensively using our @AMO policy account. Check out our newly updated website at amo.on.ca, where you can get lots more detail. At any given time, AMO is working on about 50 different policy files. Much of that work needs to answer the questions: how can we afford this? How will we pay for that? Can we stretch the tax dollars further? Can we say, yes, we can deliver that? Or how will we say, no, we can't afford to do that? AMO has taken on one project that weaves through this. And I invite you to stay for the next session as we look at a long-term fiscal future. It is something that we all need to understand. We all need to ponder solutions and then build appropriate plans. It is important work for each and every one of us. It has been an honor, ladies and gentlemen, to serve as AMO's president the past 2 years. It's an amazing and sometimes exhausting experience that takes you on a journey across our great province of Ontario and through the dreams and challenges of our very diverse communities. My service was made possible thanks to the support of my council colleagues and the staff at the town of Tecumseh and my colleagues at Essex County Council. I can't say enough about AMO's staff. They do amazing work for all of us. And finally, I'd like to also thank my wife, Heather, and my family, my kids, and I want them to stand and be recognized as well. They have been very, very patient. Sean, Ryan, Melissa, Anne Marie, and my little Emily, and my grandson Patrick, who is now somewhere, I believe, in Iceland. Couldn't do it without you, and thank you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for letting me do the things that I love to do, is to serve. In many ways, we took this role together, all of us. So finally, like everything else related to AMO, I want to thank all of you, everyone, for making this opportunity possible. Ladies and gentlemen, AMO is what we all make it. And it is up to all of us to make AMO work as well as it possibly can. Thank you. Thank you again.